One of you lovely juvely submitted a pun in the world chat that I absolutely love, but I'm just going to change it ever so slightly. You'll see their original one throughout the video, but this is the new pun. What laundry detergent do mermaids use? Tide. What's going on, YouTube? It's the weekend, which means we're at the Golden Vendor, the first one inside of the Hollow City, which is inside of Cold Harbor, to talk to our boy Zanil, who is crowded by people because we have a Dark Brotherhood weekend. And I love the Dark Brotherhood. For those of you who don't know, I think that they're a really neat organization. You know, they seem like they've really got a good head on their shoulders and a great leader that you become. And they've got a cool door, but what kind of confuses me about this door is I'm pretty sure this doesn't open and close, nor does this one. But they also have some cool hourglasses. So the reason we talk about these items is for a couple reasons. One, if you obviously want these items to put in your house, well, then you probably don't need my opinion on them, because you'll look at it and go, yeah, I'd buy that, put it in my house. Boom. However, resale value for a lot of these things is decently good. These hourglasses are pretty good value. These Dark Brotherhood themed items are also very good. In fact, these stained glass windows were actually one of the items that Paradox ESO had suggested that everyone go out and purchase because of how good they were for people to be able to resell. Now, there's a lot of people that have taken that advice over the years, and I think that there's definitely a higher market for these than there was, so you're not going to be able to make as much money as you were back then, but you're still going to be able to make a pretty decent click of money, in my opinion. And before we jump into this next vendor, this is just a reminder for you guys to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you guys so much again for getting me to this milestone of 16,000 subscribers. Having channel sponsors and everything is always crazy, and I love to spend these weekends with you. So without further ado, what's in store for us at the second vendor? Inside of our Northern High Rock gate, which is going to depend on the gate which in the alliance that you have, but in our normal Golden Vendor lady, we are going to have some interesting items, starting off with Blood Thorn. When you deal direct damage, you restore 800 magic and stamina. This can occur every 5 seconds. So for those of you who don't know, this is actually a pretty good sustained set. How this compares to normal magicka recovery and stamina recovery. So a lot of people don't know this, but your normal recoveries are every 2 seconds. So a lot of people think that they're every 1 second or, something along those lines. For some reason, in the stat thing, it's every 2 seconds. So this is actually a really good sustain set for people to use. You could use this in a PvP sense. There's a lot of characters that need both magicka and stamina, PvP tanks, PvP healers. They also need a lot of magicka and stamina. Now, are you going to use this in a PvE sense? Probably not. At least not in this current meta that I'm aware of, but this does have decent utilization in a PvP utilization. It's bind on equip, which means you can go out, purchase this, and resell this. I don't necessarily think that I would purchase it to resell. If you have a specific setup that you want to run with this, go for it, but that's how this set could be utilized. Next up, we have Crimson. After taking damage, you surround yourself in a 8-meter mist of blood. That is what, 16 feet? Something like that. After 2 seconds, the mist is violently siphoned off your body, dealing a bunch of bleed damage, and then it heals you. So this has been a really good PvP tank set. It's very good for open world Cyrodiil. It is a dungeon set, so you are not going to be able to resell this, but there is a decent utilization for PvP. However, depending on how the arenas break down, so when this new endless content comes out, I could see Crimson being a set that gets potentially utilized, because the more I think about the endless archive, right, the more I'm like, you're going to want sets that just keep you alive, because that's the whole goal of it, is to just, stay alive and keep going. And I could see a lot of people really leaning towards some tankier, beefy sets that give himself a little extra oomph-a-dumph. This is going to give that to you. Crimson is a great set to be able to give you that. If you're surrounded by a lot of enemies, you're going to be able to get a lot of sustain. Now, when you're fighting a single boss, you're not going to get as much regen, so that is something to take into consideration. So that is a kind of a thing that you're going to have to gauge with this. This is better, really more so for mob wave clearing. So if you notice that there's a lot of mobs with those bosses that we're farming in Endless Archive, that could be something to kind of keep in consideration. Plus, do Endless Archive, you can do 2 people. So this could be something that only one person runs, both people run, both, wearing a little bit of a beefcake set and then a DPS set. We'll have to see. Next up, we have Grave Guardian, which oddly is also another pretty underrated PvP set. This comes from Unhallowed Grave, and it is utilized a lot in ball groups. So, why ball groups? Let's just start there. This is what's called an unnamed buff. What is an unnamed buff? An unnamed buff is a buff that you can stack with other normal buffs. So say, for example, I get, a minor resistance from somewhere else that stacks with this, but you can't stack two, of the same buff. So say I have major sorcery, I can't stack that with another major sorcery. I can only have one major sorcery active. If I get it again, that doesn't do anything. So when you have sets like this in a ball group that can combine with other defensive sets, it actually works out pretty well. Is there any other utilization for this? I'm sure, just looking at it, there's some niche trial or man content where this could be used. Do I think it's a set that you really need to be clamoring to go get? Probably not. Even if you are thinking about picking up this set, which does look great for PvP because it's going to give you a lot of lines of health and stamina that you're probably going to need anyway. Do I think you really need to run out and get it at gold? No. So I really don't think that you're going to have to be clamoring to go get that. Plus, two, this is an important reminder halfway through the video, so thank you for sticking around. They're going to be changing jewelry crafting. It's not going to cost you a lot here soon to upgrade your materials in your jewelry to gold. That could have a big impact on the golden vendor, because if you can start spending, only 40,000 gold to upgrade your jewelry, why are you going to spend 500,000 AP to do that? Why are you going to spend 250,000 gold to do that? It's going to be a real consideration we're going to have to start taking into consideration here soon. And here we see one of the former best support sets in the game. You see, many moons ago, sets like this were incredible because ultimates were pretty great. Your 5-piece set bonus really just added a little bit of extra razzle-dazzle to you. It wasn't like today where they gave you a whole bunch of cool effects. Just a reduction to ultimate. That was such a great support for tanks, healers, PvP people. These days, however, reducing your ultimate and giving yourself 158 health recovery just doesn't do a whole lot for you, unfortunately. Now we've got Earth Gore. Now, Earth Gore comes from Bloodroot Forge, which is a dungeon that is a little bit tricky to complete. So if you wanted this helmet, all you would have to do is complete it on Veteran. However, it is a little bit of a sticky wicket to actually complete. So this is actually one of those monster sets where it's a really good support one. If you don't want to farm it, you could consider utilizing gold or AP. What does it do? When you heal yourself or a group member that is under 50% health, you conjure a pool of blood beneath them, immediately removing all harmful effects in one area and healing the lowest health group member in that area for 2 seconds for 7 health every 2 seconds over 8 seconds. This can occur once every 20 seconds. It scales off whichever your higher max magic or stamina. It's pretty good. Top, 5 supports, monster sets. Top 3 probably. Now, some of you are probably thinking that mythicals have dethroned monster sets, and that's technically true. It's very true. However, I still encourage people to own good sets, because whenever you're looking to build into a trial group, we could be on update 40, 50, 67, 52, 28, hike, there's a lot of I need to have this specific set. If you don't have it and you don't have any intention to farm Bloodroot Forge, you could just go out and purchase it. That way, if it ever comes, to a point where you need it, you already have it. That's why I encourage people to just have the best in slot top support sets, regardless of if in this very moment, it's meta, because the meta is going to change. And it's just good to have good things. From the deep depths of Wayrest Sewer 2, when you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to tether you to an enemy for 6 seconds after, as long as you're within 8 meters of them. And tethered, you deal 765 magic damage every second you heal for the damage caused. Engage major fatality, increases your healing received by 60%. It's going to occur once every 6 seconds, scales off your maximum health. Is this good? No. If you're going to do this, use Zons. It's like infinitely better, and it can be used for both PvE and PvP, and Wayrest Sewers 2 could be completed while blindfolded and being hung upside down. The final boss is a little bit annoying, but as long as you maintain an active pulse in your body, I have faith that you can complete it. I only know this because my friend was soloing it, and he was getting annoyed that the final boss was taking him a long time, so I would help him do it. Not to say that you should solo this dungeon, but to say that this is a dungeon that you need to, pay to avoid is just not true. So unfortunately, not something that I would encourage you guys to purchase. But I'm happy to say that this is a good weekend. It definitely leans more towards the Dark Brotherhood theme, and definitely some good PvP sets, ball group sets especially. And I will say, thank you to everyone that said hello always, and might use the pun in the intro. We'll see. I actually record the puns last, even after the outro. So let's take us to the outro here. As a reminder, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you have to do is like the video, so that'll give you a 1 entry per like, and then you just have to be a subscriber. So just be subscribed to the channel, and then thirdly, all you have to do is watch the videos and listen for an audio cue, and then a word will be flashed upon the screen, or you don't have to listen. You can leave it on mute. Just look for a word, and if you comment that word first, you will win. Last month it was banana. Will you be able to guess what it is this month, or comment it first below? So thank you guys so much again, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.
Another crazy day at work. Well, hopefully middle of October I'll have a coworker again dealing with 103 individual cases. It's quite a lot of people and a lot of hoopla, as the kids say. It's a legal term, hoopla. And to the man that says, can I put my Twilight Matriarch away, but then I won't have 50,000 Magicka, and then you guys might think that I'm a weenie. I am actually working on making a best-in-slot Sorcerer build, which unfortunately does not utilize max Magicka. I don't know if it is truly the best in slot. I think a lot of people will make it on, what they'll do is they'll make like a mag, Templar, and they'll go, oh, well, this setup is probably best in slot for Templars too, and it might not. Oh, see, he's got the personality. Let's go. Everyone loves the personality. I'm so glad that people who've wanted this personality for a while were able to get it the other day. It's very exciting. Yeah, happy to spend this weekend with you guys. Don't know if we'll stream, be some videos. We're going to have to break down the Endless Archive into its own video. So excited to do that with you, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.